Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Marion County Hardball. As always, I want to share an invitation to all of our candidates. We had people ask us to interview Daniel Carter and Mayor Jackson, and I would definitely like to extend an invitation to both of those gentlemen to come on, and anyone else that is running for an elected office or is a sitting official in Marion County or Jackson County. Just reach out to us and contact us and we will get you on. I also want to mention that if you'd like to help and support what we're doing, there's a link at the top of the Facebook page that you can click on to make a donation, buy Marion County Messenger a coffee. That money goes to support the Marion County Messenger and pay my bills. It does not go to Rurik or his campaign. Rurik is a volunteer. Tonight, we are interviewing, well, I'll let Rurik do the introductions. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, we're interviewing Larry Montague. Mr. Montague, we thank you for being willing to put your neck out there as you have and all the fun that goes with this. And with that, if you'll tell our audience what you're up to.
Sure. Hi, folks. Again, Larry Montague. I'm a native Tennessean, believe it or not, one of those guys. Born in Memphis, Tennessee, Shelby County. I grew up there, was raised there, and I went to Memphis State University. Had a marketing degree, a bachelor of something. That's BBA. That's what it is. But also got 2 courses in SMU when I lived in Dallas, Texas. The graduate courses in accounting. Our CEO wanted me to get some more of that. And so that's kind of my start. And then I've been in business right out of school. Started in sales. I went to it was a consumer products company at the time. And then as other people came knocking, I started going. So Boise Cascade, flew a bunch of Southerners up there. International Falls, Minnesota when we were young. I thought I wasn't going to be able to breathe because it was so cold up there. Coldest place in the nation. And kept in business all over the place. And in the last 19 years was promoted up to President and CEO of TAPI, a technical association in the pulp and paper industry, do the standards for the whole world. We have members in 65 countries. They still have my cell phone number. That's why it rings at different parts of the night. But it has given me a lot of information on how to handle budgets, how to plan them, do audits, these kind of things. And we've just been I've been very blessed to be able to be in those positions all these years. So when somebody looked at me and said, have you ever considered politics? I said, not really. I've helped people get into politics. I've walked for them. I've supported their candidacies, but never really thought that I would be in it. But it is right now getting very exciting. I'm very excited about it. Exciting to me. Getting to meet a lot of people. And my deal, bottom line, is this is not for one segment of Marion County at all. That dog won't help with me. This is for every citizen of Marion County. Treat them all the same. I think they need to have a vision with us, and I think the visibility should get better with every single citizen. We've got to be transparent. We've got to stop hiding things. We need to put it out front, and we can all look at it and see if we should be doing these things or not. So that's kind of it in a nutshell how I've been here 9 years, and really love this county.
Now, I'd like to ask, we're putting together a mayoral debate. Would you be interested in participating in a mayoral debate on Marion County Hardball?
Absolutely, certainly would.
Okay, excellent. Go ahead.
Well, in your first 100 days, what do you think you can accomplish, or what do you want to do?
Well, I've started things behind the scenes now. I met with so many people talking about them. We were at a greet and meet last night, and the big thing there was education. We got to get better. Got to get the grades up, and so many people volunteered on the spot that we could have a community council to help the schools, and they would volunteer to do these things, mentorships. I mean, they were coming out of the woodwork last night during this. That's one of the things, but the education's got to come first, and I think transparency's got to be here all the time. The second thing is jobs, and we're already talking to a lot of people about that, what we can bring in. I'm going to ASPE, the Association of Suppliers to the Paper Industry, on February 25th. They asked me to come down there. We used to run that association, but they're the guys that supply all these industries, not just the pulp and paper industry. And I haven't wanted to bring a paper mill here. Somebody started that rumor.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, we can't handle that here. Trust me. Okay. It takes a lot of water. Green Bay Packaging just did it in that river right there, and the water's cleaner going back in. All the new technology, you can really make it clean. But we're not to that point. We have enough water issues as it is in this county, so we don't need to bring any others.
What's your thoughts on if you're bringing these distributors or suppliers?
Well, some of them manufacture equipment here.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to have.
Where are we going to put the people, the workers? I mean, the cost of housing is so expensive right now.
Absolutely.
What's some of your ideas that we can maybe, or that you try to implement to make it so that people could live here in Marion County?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been talking about affordable housing with a lot of people, some contractors, things of that nature, to see if we might be able to do that. They've got some ideas, but I can't share them with you right now because that's in concrete. But we've got to have that for people who come here.
Okay.
A guy told me that we have 7,000 individuals leaving this county every day to go work somewhere else, and we need to figure out how to keep them here. Pollution-wise, it's a good thing, not driving your car all the way to Chattanooga or somewhere else every day. So we've got to figure out how to keep them here.
Verify that number again. Did you say
7,000 a day?
No, not from Marion County?
Yeah, from Marion County leaving.
Lord have mercy, I didn't realize that.
I got that from a corner office down on the square.
Okay, well,
So something that I am curious about, and a way to keep more of those people here. What do we do to encourage small business development, entrepreneurialism here?
We've got incentives. Would be wonderful. And also, if you bring in big, we want to do that. We've got a lady that's already decorated a whole lot of stuff here, commercial buildings and things of that nature. She's volunteered to give her time free to help get some of these downtown stores back up and that sort of thing. So, it's costly to do it, but for her to volunteer, I couldn't believe that. And it's that's a start right there. Mm-hmm. But I do believe incentives can help people get this thing going. Also, Volkswagen, as a matter of fact, over in Chattanooga, they were ready. Chattanooga was ready, man. Everything was done. They didn't have to run any water. They didn't have to do everything. The concrete's there, boom, and they came in. That's the way they got them there. That's the way we can get people here. We got to be our forethought's got to be, how can we develop this when they're wanting to plug and play and build their buildings in. But if they're worried about water, electricity, or power, nobody's going to come in here and just sit for 3 years. They want to hit the ground running, and I think that's what we need to think about, that we pre-plan for those type of people coming in here.
What are you thinking on as schools are so important for our future, as mayor, how would you work with the school board and Dr. Griffith in order to improve our schools? I mean, what would be some of your ideas?
Well, I met with Dr. Griffith for about an hour one morning, and I've heard a lot of good things, and maybe different things. People feel differently about it, but I had an enjoyable time with him. It was an hour, and I can remember asking him. I said, "This was 8 o'clock," and I said, "What time did you get here?" He said, 4. I said, "Did you have a paper out to throw? Before what did you do that for?" And he talked about the buses and how large Marion County is, and these buses have to make sure they're running. So he gets those calls, and things are, he gives an A-OK and that kind of thing. But I looked at him a different way when I heard that. And it was just amazing. And then he talked about things that keep him up at night. Maybe that box lunch is the only meal that child has had all day. And they've set it up where some people are absent, that the teachers will set them aside and, target those people that may not have any more food all day. So
was he, so I understand what he was conveying to you, is it because the large area and we have so many schools, or what did he think would be a cure to that problem?
One of the things he said, we talked about grades, and Whitwell, I guess, is top of the rank on the grades here. Is that what I'm understanding here in county? And I said, how does that happen? And he said, most of the schools are doing real well. They've got seasoned principals. They've seen everything, so they're easier to work with, easier to get the kids to work how they need to. But he had some pretty good ideas. We talked about some of them. That the Board of Education goes to a lot of places. They were at Nashville the week before that, and was talking about, they heard about high schools having aviation mechanics training, also pilot training, and that's in Tennessee. And International Paper in Memphis has a deal with Hardball School, and they're training them. Like we used to have shop when I was in high school. So this is actually doing that, and then Carrier Air Conditioner doing the same thing in the Memphis area, Shelby County. We've got to get some of those people that work with us here. And I've been knocking on doors all my life, and that's how I got business and how we've been successful doing other things. We could just I mean, a blueprint for that is already in my brain, and I'm ready to go. I really am.
So to bring that here, I guess we would have to expand our airport. I would assume.
Well, that's what I brought up before, and I've heard people say smart aleck things about it. But bottom line, I used to buy companies for our company that I work with, and then I'd negotiate with the lawyers and this, that, and the other. But we had to have, it's not a jet, we had a plane, like a Beechcraft Baron. It would go to these small towns, like Tama, Iowa, where we bought a mineral from PCA, and little towns like that. You know, 'cause that's where the equipment is and all the manufacturing facilities are. They're not right in a big city. So we would fly in and fly out, and then get the job done. And you know, guys in the corporate office and the CEOs, they don't want to go all day flying to an airport and have that, you know, having to stay there, and then it's canceled flight and so forth and so on. So they, you know, time is money to this, guys. And I've seen it. I've done it myself. Coming to a place like this airport we have, I was really proud to see the hangars. We're actually making more hangars now, so that's a revenue stream that we can use.
Right.
And they talked about maybe what would it take to expand the runway out there. You know, to get small jets, I think it was 5,000. It has to be a little over 5,000 feet. And I've studied that with them out there talking to them. But then somebody says we don't want a jet in here because it smells up the whatever. But I've heard all kind of things. But bottom line, there's a way to do some stuff, and not trying to take over anything. Again, that's not why I moved here. You know, we were born in Shelby County, chose to live in Marion County. There's nothing bad at all I'm trying to do. We want to merge into the county, merge into it, and do the things hopefully that will help everybody. And I'm talking everybody. We've got a poverty rate here that's not so good. We've got to figure this out. And it's just, yeah.
So we have a question from Paul Page, more of a statement, but I think it's a question that can be answered. He says, Marion County doesn't have the money to pre-plan. Where would the finances come from?
Finances could come from, and I don't want to say this real loud, but we do have a nice general square in our budget, you know, general county. And also you can get them from, you can talk to other people about that want to invest in this already. And it might be stockholders of those companies that want to help put it together. I've seen that done. So there's various and sundry ways. You know, don't know them all right here while I'm sitting here, but there are ways to do it.
Now, when that question was related to the, maybe I apologize if I got mixed up on the airport.
Yeah. No, I think that question was related. You said you need to pre-plan to put businesses in. I think that question was related to that.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. I mean, some of these folks want to invest, you know, for a profit, obviously.
Yeah.
But the companies are, you know, they've got things set up that they can spend so much money and then expect you to do some in-kind things. And it happens all the time to get people, you know, to come in. I mean, give them incentives.
Okay.
So what are you hearing right now? Or let's do it this way. As far as what you're seeing and how we're conducting business today, we're back to the 100-day deal. Where are the areas they think we can improve on? Not like you said, not necessarily change.
Yeah.
Where we can improve. For instance, the way our government is functioning today.
Okay. One of the things that I was really shocked about is the city mayors. And I've heard this from several of them. I said, how often do y'all get together? Well, we kind of do our own thing. We're consolidated, and so we kind of do our own thing. What about the county? You meet with the county mayor? No, we don't meet with the county mayor. And one of the things is communication with me. And I met two of them. Met Kimball, and then this week, mayor, and then last week, South Pittsburgh, had lunch with him. And they're all going, I like this. So I'm trying to get out there and talk to them. And actually, when I talked to South Pittsburgh, I said, y'all don't get together anymore? And he said, what? No, we don't. And he said, part of that started during COVID when they stopped. And I said, COVID's been gone for a while here. So would you be adverse to doing that? And he said, absolutely not. I'd love to do that. Get one. So it's a small start.
Okay.
And then if we know what's going on there, like Jasper, that Christmas thing, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And you know, how can you take that to the other towns? How can you take it to the entire county? And that's again, communication is huge.
Well, it sounds like from a growth perspective, if you were elected mayor, you know, a lot of the secret sauce is, the open sauce. I apologize, not secret, is in the planning commission.
Yes.
So under a Montague administration, how would you handle the planning commission?
To me, number one, I want to make sure there's no conflict of interest. I mean, we cannot live on that. We can die on that, but we can't live on it or expand on it. Got to make that clear. The other thing, y'all get mad at me, but we got the same last names in a whole lot of rooms at the same time. And it just, to me, it's, oh my goodness. Is it working? Maybe. I don't know. But there are other ways to go about it that
Sure.
I think will be more.
And one thing with the developers that we have, our growth, would you agree that our growth is not because of the incredible business prowess of our county government? It's primarily coming from Jasper Highlands, it's coming from River Gorge Ranch, it's coming from development.
Yeah.
So from a development perspective, so that we don't have a burden that goes on the people, enforcing equally subdivision regulations, that would be very important to you, I would assume.
Yes.
Okay, would you be the chairman under your administration of the planning commission and voting member?
If it's allowed, I certainly would.
Okay, so you'd look to find
Absolutely.
out from a state statute
Right.
if it's legal or not. Is that?
Because I sure don't want to break any laws. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. Well, and it seems like from an honesty perspective, for a politician, as long as you follow the law, you won't get in any trouble.
Right.
You might get people mad at you, but as long as you follow the law, you're all right.
Okay, so we got a couple of phone-ins here. One is from Joy. Since the cities control what goes on in the cities, how would the county mayor direct or incentivize the improvements inside cities, or are you talking about the unincorporated county? Just would like that clarified.
Well, I was told that all the cities are incorporated, and so the county is. That's what I've been told by folks that are here working. They're in the policies now. They're the politicians. How would we work with it? Again, you got to communicate. You sit down with them, you talk it out. What's legal to be done, we could do. If it's not legal, we don't do it.
Okay. So another question, and I'm not sure I understand this question, is from Lawson Usselton. And it says, ask him why his campaign page is blocking voters. Do
You know what? I heard that before I walked out my door.
Yeah.
Got a call about it, and I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I will find out.
Okay.
But if it's, I know we set it up like this. If something like really was, cussing and screaming and all that stuff, we're going to block them. But I have no idea why these people were blocked. I'll find out in the morning.
Okay. And Don D. Toddy, what skills from your previous job can you apply to mayor of Marion County?
I think the management skills that I've learned over the years, also the communications that I've already taught. And we had members in 65 countries. I had to deal with China, coming together on these plans we had to make and what we're going to do in the future and how we could work together on some of these huge conferences. Sao Paulo, Brazil. I got kidnapped in Sao Paulo, Brazil at a conference. And by the grace of God, I got out of it. I won't go into all that boring detail, but it's pretty spooky. So I've worked with people that, I love Canada, but man, they can be rude as all get out to try to work a deal with. And I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, but it was tough in some of those other places. But Canada got really mad at some of our presidents at the time. I happened to be up there, so they took it out on me. We've done stuff with Italy. We've done stuff with, just name it, in 65 countries. And you can work, if we can pull those things together there in another country, 3 or 4 different countries, we can certainly do it here, I would hope. We talked earlier about it seems to be a lot of hate and all this stuff around here, and I don't quite get it. Again, my deal, and I hope everybody else is running for any kind of office, is we want every citizen of Marion County to be taken care of and thought about, keep them abreast of what's going on.
Larry, I appreciate what you're doing, that you're out there and you're seeing that there's a lot of fear right now.
Yeah.
And change seems to be the reason why people are fearful. And I hope that your message can get across to people that it sounds like you're not here to take their animals
No way.
or to come in and try to mandate that you can't do this and you can't do that. I'm not hearing that, but maybe in our next interview, we can go a little bit more granular on that. So with that said, would you like to do a closing?
Well, I'd like to say that you mentioned the animals and stuff. Growing up in Memphis, all my uncles had farms. That's where I learned to hunt and fish and all that kind of stuff. I love that. My dad was a city man. He grew up on a farm, but he was a sales guy. And I couldn't imagine somebody coming in and taking that property away from my uncles and aunts at the time to do something else with it that could have been very horrible to the area. So I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to take that away. Again, I said I would love to merge into Marion County and with the good things and try to make them even better, but not take away. I'm not here to steal anything from you or to change any bad things or make things worse. I just want to make them better.
So I know we said that was your closing, but we got one more question. I think it's a good one, so I'm going to ask it. It's from Mac Reeves. What are your views toward balancing our water flow with the development within the county? I'm referring to the river systems that supply the people of Marion County. And I'm going to throw this in. Of course, the Tennessee River is good, but when you're talking about the Sequatchie River, you've got some issues.
You really do. You really do. I don't have an answer for that. I've struggled through it. I've struggled through the South Pittsburgh mountain deal. I'm going to be up there later this week as well. We got all kind of water issues. I don't have an answer for it. I'd have to study it more, but I know it's on my list because we talked too much about it. Everybody that's in a meeting with me like this or a meet and greet, what are you going to do? I don't know what exactly legally I can do right this second, but you can bet your boots that I'm going to be working on it.
Okay. Anything else you want to say in closing?
I just appreciate it, and you have another.
Let's see. Mac Reeves had a follow-up question. What's your views of the Powers Act?
Ooh, man, I read that thing over and over again today. I brought it up again, and it scares the crap out of me, to be honest with you. It can be used for good purposes, but it can also be used for some very horrible purposes, in my humble opinion. I'm trying to talk to people that are for it, and I'm trying to talk to people that are not for it. And I think that it can be used for good things, but right now, somebody said, would I vote for it today? We don't have enough water to go on to do, add anything to it or take away from it right now. But that scares me a little bit.
Well, being that I've been responsible for that because my constituents that were in Jackson Point, it was very important to them where we're able to control.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Major industry coming in here. And so let me ask you this question as mayor, since we're already past your closing, so forgive it.
We'll let you off this interview one day.
We'll do another closing. So as mayor, if the public comes in and says, we don't want a paper mill here.
Yeah.
No paper mill. What legal tools do you have access to stop it?
Well, I was going to ask you guys that. I really was.
Well, you have none.
That's what I'm thinking. So if there were some, I don't know what they are.
Well, without the Special Powers Act, and Mac Reeves, I'm glad that he asked the question. It's an excellent question. I understand the fear associated with it, but at the same time, you have to have regulations that are very specific.
Yeah.
It requires the commission literally to vote to approve it. But without it, again, I don't hear you saying, but let me ask you, zoning. So what's your thoughts on zoning?
There's certain parts of that probably are very necessary, but others not so much.
Right. So in lieu of zoning, the only other tool that you would have, or actually the legislative body would have, is something similar to because even with the Special Powers Act, you still can't stop it legally.
Yeah.
But you can regulate it. So the fears are understandable, but what do you tell people, for instance, Jackson Point, when you go up to Jackson Point, they're going to ask you that question. And they're going to say, are you for the Special Powers Act? Now, I think a lot of people, a lot of fear has been put into them. Some of it's justified. Mm-hmm. Every city in Marion County has the Special Powers Act.
Yeah.
So I think this development that's coming in, or that proposed to come into South Pittsburgh, 600 some acres, the only tool that the city would use to stop it would be the Special Powers Act. So minus that, if we have wealthy people or corporations that want to move in here and put a quarry right on the side of the mountain, there's not, well, excuse me, not in the city limits, but outside the city limits, we have nothing.
So let me ask this: what do you see as the downside of the Special Powers Act? Because and I asked that question because we have somebody asking, what is the Powers Act?
My reason I'm going to all these places and talking to them, like a couple of times this week and going later this week to these other places, to find out what they really want and what they see in it. Because again, I've read it a number of times, even this afternoon, to look at it again, and it's very hard for me to understand why somebody would hate it so much or why somebody would like it so much. But I know we don't want stuff to come in. We've talked about chicken coops and all that stuff, or paper mill. And I'm just going to go on record again. I wasn't trying to get a paper mill here. I told you the water's too, spare.
Bad example. I apologize. We'll use another one.
Yeah. But it's again, I'm going to ask you guys. My mind is spinning on that one right now. That's at the top of my list, and I would like to hear from more people.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, would you like to close one more time? And this time we'll let you leave.
Well, and before he closes, Larry, we want you to come back.
Yes, we do.
And the reason we want you to come back, like we've offered to every mayoral candidate, is so that people can get an idea of who you really are. And so we ask you these questions, and some of the questions may not necessarily be fair to someone that hasn't been in office, in all fairness, because putting you on the spot on that is not something we were trying to do.
It's okay.
No.
We weren't trying to put you on the spot.
Well, I think that there's a gentleman I think that's legitimately asking, what is the Powers Act? And I think maybe you and I, maybe all three of us, should sit down and talk about and get a definition to let people see.
Yeah.
Because I think some folks don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and unfortunately what has happened is fear-mongering has gone out.
Yeah.
And the Special Powers Act, you can, which is a bad word, but when you call something a nuisance, then people right away go, oh, wait a minute, no nuisance, Yeah. But that's the term that's used. You can regulate a nuisance. Now, it can be very narrowly, that's something that the county commission would be voting on, and they would be the ones that decide it. How narrow do you make it?
Yeah.
So the reason I originally brought it up is because we can narrow it so that we look at industry that's coming in, that's going to potentially take half of our mountainsides away for like a quarry or a sand plant, which was the use case, was Jackson Point. That's why all those people now are involved, because they have a major problem where they're potentially going to have trucks up and down 156. And if you've noticed, 156 has no shoulders.
Yep.
So now we're going to have these trucks flying back and forth if they don't get directed to go on the interstate and come down. But the fastest route between hither and yon, if they were going to Bolton, for instance, is 156, and it's a state road. So it is a complex thing, but in lieu of nothing else, I mean, when you have a family, a generational family that has had a farm, and now this big corporate entity comes in and I'm buying that land, and you're either going to like it or you're going to lump it, It's really difficult as a commissioner to say, we can't help you because we don't have the tools to help you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for you, if you become mayor, you're going to want to be able to help these people.
Absolutely.
And the Special Powers Act, just so that it's very clear, farming is completely exempt from it. Any type of farming enterprise is exempt from it. So, but anything, we'll have you back.
Yes, we will.
And we'll do yet another session, because we're going to go a little bit more granular, so that we can get kind of your opinions and what you're thinking about. Because there were some things that would have been great to bring up tonight, but I think ending it on a positive note is a great thing.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a negative note next time?
It'll be plus or minus.
Plus or minus. And we're looking forward to those debates too. We'll get that scheduled here soon.
Same here. Okay. And the last thing I'll say is just thank you for the opportunity. And again, I don't cherry pick. This is everybody. This entire citizens of this county is who I'm pulling for. Not a special interest group, nothing like that. So God bless you, and I look forward to having your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, and we thank you for coming on. Folks, I want to ask everybody just to hang on for a moment. We are going to close this live so we can switch out microphones, bring Corey Blevins onto the set, and we're going to talk with him next. So please stay on Marion County Messenger. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you.